morning and a warm welcome to State of Business on Art Television. And I'm Hishain Ali. Let's take a look at the headlines first. Porsche Taycan, its first electric car unveiled. Japan assures another grant on differently abled children. News in detail. Porsche electric car the Taycan globally yesterday, and the car was introduced in two high-performance versions, the 670 horsepower Taycan Turbo and the 751 horsepower Taycan Turbo S. The maximum horsepower figures will be available only in an overboost power mode for quick launches. The two electric motors, one driving the front wheels and one the rear, can produce up to 617 horsepower on either model. The Taycan S can accelerate from stop to 60 miles an hour in just 2.6 seconds with the overboost and a launch control system. The Taycan uses a new battery electric drivetrain comprising of a permanent magnetic synchronous motor on each axle, giving the Taycan all-wheel drive, and upfront power is routed to the wheels through a single-speed gearbox. And the back thrust runs through a two-speed transmission with a short first gear providing maximum acceleration, performance, and a long ratio second delivering top speed and efficiency. Porsche estimates the Taycan will run to 60 miles per hour speed in 3 seconds flat and cover the quarter mile in 11.1 seconds, and in Taycan Turbo S form, power increases to 750 horsepower and 774 pound-feet during overboost for a 0 to 60 miles per hour speed time of 2.6 seconds and a quarter mile run of 10.8 seconds according to Porsche. There are no physical switches, knobs or gauges inside the Taycan, and almost all controls and instruments are operated using glass computer displays and touch screens.
The Taycan is a high-performance sports car. It shows the transfer of technology from motorsport to series production. In this car, we see the DNA of the 918 Spider super sports car and the 919 Hybrid, our three-time winner of Le Mans. That's clear as soon as you sit behind the wheel. Let's have a look at the key facts. Top track speeds up to 260 kilometers per hour, consistently over a long period. Acceleration, 0 to 100 in just 2.8 seconds. 0 to 200, amazing 9.8 seconds. And not only once or twice, but many times in a row with no loss of power. The overboost function in launch control provides a peak power of up to 560 kilowatts, which equals 761 PS in the combustion world.
Parliamentarians President Council Vijayadasa Rajapaksa launched 2 books, a short story collection and 2 CDs yesterday at the BMICH under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena. Accordingly, the event was titled Panhindaka Viplavaya. President's Council Vijayadasa Rajapaksa had composed 3 books, out of which one extensively sheds light on the governance of a country and the future of Sri Lanka. Parliamentarian Vijayadasa Rajapaksa also gifted first copies of his books and CDs to the President Maithripala Sirisena. Opposition leader Mahinda Rajapaksa, members of the music industry, parliamentarian in Sri Lanka, and many other distinguished invitees were also gathered at the event. Addressing the book launch yesterday, President's Council Vijayadasa Rajapaksa highlighted that the current constitutional crisis has happened due to the clashing opinions of the President and the Prime Minister of the country. He further noted that a people-friendly political leader who will be sensitive for communities' problems can only be nurtured if the person is inclined towards literature and aesthetics.
Some believe that politics and literature are false apart, and these two subjects cannot be combined. I don't think so, because a people-friendly political leader should be nurtured by literature and aesthetics. Also, there is a constitutional crisis today. Prime Minister is working towards the strategy of selling the local resources, whereas the President is trying to preserve those. A constitutional crisis has sprung up because of this tug of war.
Sri Lanka and Australia hold talks to counter people smuggling and discussed in detail for strengthening cooperation to address the recent acceleration of the number of people smuggling attempts from Sri Lanka to Australia since May 2019. Meanwhile, Foreign Secretary Ravinath Arya Singh expressed Sri Lanka's fullest sustenance to Australia in restraining human smuggling operations in Sri Lankan shores at a meeting held with a delegation for countering people smuggling and human trafficking led by Commander of Australia's Joint Task Force, Operation Sovereign Borders, Major General Craig Ferrini on September 3, 2019. Accordingly, the foreign sector also harped the vitality of executing joint and long-term strategies, including targeted campaigns to change the public perception and to educate Sri Lankans on the risks involved in irregular migration. Against this backdrop, Major General Ferrini noted that with the setting up of Operation Sovereign Bonds policy in September 2013, there has been zero chance in reaching Australia by boat, as all illegal migrants by sea have been returned to their countries of origin. He added that they wish to develop mechanisms to address the root cause of the issue to effectively respond to people smuggling. Sri Lanka and Australia have a solid partnership which has been successful in combating people smuggling and transnational border crime. The Joint Working Group on People Smuggling and Transnational Crime between Sri Lanka and Australia, which is the principal forum to address people smuggling and human trafficking cooperation, was last held on 17 October 2018 in Sri Lanka. Stay tuned for more news right after this commercial break. Welcome back after the break. South African Anglican priest and well-known anti-apartheid social activist Father Michael Lapsley says that wars are created by the failures of the politicians, and leaving behind the root causes for the wars unattended will create more hazardous situations. Speaking to media in Colombo during a 2 weeks visit in Sri Lanka, Father Lapsley also highlighted that Sri Lanka still has issues to heal their memories.
When a country goes to war, it is always about the failure of politics that lead to war. The question that comes up when a war ends is perhaps, if you like, two questions. How can a nation heal from that war? But also, what were the root causes of that war? And if we don't deal with the root causes of the war, then the seeds for the next war are there. So the question comes, how do we create an inclusive, just society for everyone? One of the questions that still haunts many in Sri Lanka are the disappearances, the people who have not yet been accounted for. And those wounds cross generations if they're not attended to.
The Sri Lanka-Singapore Business Council recently led a delegation of 26 companies to Singapore to promote local brands with particular focus to showcase Lankan tech talent in the global front. The SLSBC program kicked off officially on Wednesday, 21st August, with a reception hosted by the Sri Lanka High Commissioner in Singapore. Accordingly, the Sri Lanka-Singapore Business Council led a delegation of 31 board-level individuals from 26 local companies drawn from a swarm of industry sectors to explore opportunities. Significantly, this time the delegation consisted of 11 tech startups looking to accelerate growth in the region. SLSBC ensured and created plenty of opportunities for the delegates to leverage the strength of the network and get B2B meetings organized successfully, fully supported by partner chambers in Singapore. The high point of the two-day program was the Sri Lanka Investor Forum hosted by Enterprise Singapore and the Singapore Business Federation, the premier chamber in Singapore, supported by the Sri Lanka High Commission, and the event was attended by representatives of Singapore companies, including some from the wish list of companies shared by the delegates, and followed by B2B meetings with the delegates. The government of Japan inked an agreement yesterday to provide $88,890 for the project for building for children with disabilities at Al-Arslat School in Ampara district through its grant assistance for grassroots human security projects. Thus, the grant contract was signed yesterday at the ambassador's residence in Colombo between Ambassador of Japan Akira Sugiyama and Chairman of Organization for Habitation and Resources Development AKM Shihab Dean. This project aims to improve studying environment of 60 students with special abilities learning at Al-Arsrat School in Samanture DS Division. The special education unit at the school is the biggest unit in the area, and students from neighboring divisions are also learning. Through this project, a new building for the special education unit with 3 classrooms, a bathroom and furniture will be provided. This will not only improve the studying environment of the 6 students but also enable more students to study at the school in the future. A media briefing organized by the Road Development Authority was held today at the Government Information Department to update on the current projects and future plans of the road development projects. It was mentioned at the media briefing that the developments of the Kochikade Bridge area are currently under place. Port Access Elevated Highway project will be established from Orgodavatta to Rajgiriya to ease the traffic congestion. iRoad program is funded by the Asian Development Bank to establish the rural roads. It is another mega rural-based development project. In relation to future projects, priority roads projects will be funded by China Development Bank. Stay tuned for stock updates after this break. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The all-share price index dropped 11.29 points to close at 5,850.25 and the S&P SL20 dropped 19.05 points to close at 2,859.94. The turnover was 518 million rupees and over 35 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. That's all news for today. Do join us tomorrow with State of Business. Until then, take care. Good night.